All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody out there? Hello, and thank you for joining us. We have a very special guest this evening on the Blowing Bubbles podcast, live at 8:45 edition. We got the one and only Mario Reyes.
Peace and
Oh my
blessings.
gosh, what's up, brother? What's good?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I want to build.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So tell everybody because I've been following you for years. Tell everybody what you do, what your name is, what you do. And we're gonna just build from there.
Well, my name is Mario Reyes, formerly known as Poppy Picasso back when I felt like I needed a superhero name. Um, and I'm a poet. I'm an author. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a host. I'm active and very engaged in my community. I host workshops for children. So I co-founded Manifest Destiny with my beautiful wife. She's a multi-talented, award-winning artist. So she does the
Yes, she
art side.
is.
I do the literature side, and we try to bring some creative experiences and healings to these youth out here in Atlanta.
Nice, nice, nice. So this is right on time for Poetry Month. This is National Poetry Month.
Yeah, did you notice that I'm posting a poem every day this month?
I didn't know, but I seen you post. I'm like, I don't remember him posting this much. So
Yeah, so there's
yeah.
every day I'm posting an unreleased poem just to remind people that my pen is immaculate.
Ooh. I think I'm feeling like I want some bars tonight. Can we get some of that spit?
I got you some bars. Let's get into the interview, and then
Okay, okay, okay,
it's
okay.
if the conversation's good, the poems come out by accident.
Ooh, okay, okay. So that sounds like a challenge for me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Right on. Okay, so and how long you been married?
Well, we get married in October.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I've
she
been
my
I'm like
fiance, but we've been married for lifetimes already, so she don't know.
yes, yes. Like I've been really following you guys' journey. You got whoo. I love the is that the official venue that I saw online? That
Yes.
castle. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's going down.
Woo, that's
You know,
it.
my favorite part is like we're gonna be in the authentic Jamaica. There's not gonna be any
Oh,
tourists.
not the
It's gonna be
resort.
us and them. You know what I mean?
Oh my
We are the
god.
tourists.
That is so beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen this place, what's the official name of the place?
The places are the Trident Castle
The-
in Port Antonio,
Listen,
Jamaica.
it is fairy tale. It is
Well, my
everything.
queen deserves a fairy tale, I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh oh, you look. Is she
Well,
off
she's
to the
right here, so I'm
side?
gonna lay it on super thick.
Can she pop in and say, hey, Chantel?
She's like, absolutely not. She's like, she want to get all super fly.
Man, stop it. She woke up like that.
Hello, that's what I be telling her. She don't listen.
Oh man, but that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. I
Yeah,
definitely follow you guys. I love.
yeah. I like really loving out loud,
Yeah.
unabashedly. Like when I put out the her latest ode, which was the video I did for Valentine's Day trophy wife,
That's dope.
and
That piece is dope.
the way it was received, not just by the public, but when she saw it for that first time, she was like, oh, you know me well. I was like, yes.
My wife is not a trophy wife. My wife collects trophies.
Oh, I don't know.
Ugh.
Oh,
Ugh.
ah.
I said, man, there's so many layers to funk in that statement alone.
So
Ooh.
the ill part is, I told her that every Valentine's Day, because it's such a like commercialized holiday. I
Mhm.
didn't want to just, you know, run and get her jewelry or bag or nothing. I was like, I'm gonna give you some legacy. So last year I got her a custom vinyl with poems that I wrote for her that I recorded.
Oh my God.
And I did like the cover art was when I proposed and all of this other stuff. And like, a
Oh,
lot of inside jokes in that one. So this time I did that, and then what she gives me back every Valentine's Day is she does these portraits of us.
Oh
So we're just creating like so. By the time we 80, it's gonna be insane. We ain't gonna have no space for all
man,
this
you know
stuff.
what? I'm gonna go ahead and slide in my request for the couples edition. Meet the Reyes. we
Hashtag
need the
Rated Reyes.
workshop.
Hashtag
We
Rated Reyes.
we need the workshop going on because that's some next level outward love. I love
Yeah.
it. I
And I
love
think
it.
like what I think about like all the art, like when we start expanding our real estate portfolio and we got all these Airbnbs globally, the art should be there watching everybody.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so dope. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So you also have a book. You are an author, published author. And I slipped. I bought it. I bought it a little bit. I just bought it this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I just bought
I,
it this morning.
it's
So
all
I
right.
haven't
I sent it out this afternoon.
word. Cool, cool, cool. So tell us about the book. This is so the title alone captivated me. It's like A Son with No Father is a book with no author. You can just rest on that.
Yes.
Tell me
Yeah,
about this
that
thing. Where
one's
did the inspiration for that come from?
well, I used to live in Baltimore. So I
Okay.
lived there for 13 years before I moved to Atlanta. And I was at my barbershop and a barbershop, it's not just it's a day. It's not just in
Mm-hmm.
and out. So especially like I think it was a Friday. So I'm there and my brother Six, he's my barber, and I watched him cut the hair of like 3 or 4 young boys, little boys, and give them all levels of fatherly advice.
Mm.
And while I'm sitting there, I sat down. I was like, "Yo, like, does that ever get tiring?" And he was like, "Nah, bro. Like, whether it's tiring or not, it's needed because
Mm.
all of these boys' fathers weren't present for whatever reason. Some were locked up, some were killed. You know, it was Baltimore, a lot of street stuff.
Mm.
So he gave me a couple of these stories, and I was like, "Damn, a son with no father." You know, as a poet, I'm always thinking in some level of rhyme and rhythm. And I said,
Yeah.
"A son with no father is a book with no author, a main character developed by his peers and his barber." So that
Mm.
that was the opening line. So at first it was just a bar. Then I said, you know what? That it resonated with me very heavily. Like God bless, I had my dad, but a lot of my cousins didn't have their dads. A lot of brothers on my block didn't have their fathers, so I had to
Yeah.
share mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote a poem, "A Son with No Father is a Book with No Author," and even there, it didn't seem like it seemed too pregnant. It seemed like it wanted to give birth to something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been pushed by a lot of friends and family to finally write a book and give a contribution to literature. And I decided to do it with something that I found the most precious to me, which is my fatherhood. So essentially, the book is a little misleading in that, well, it's a metaphor in its entirety because as you read this book, A Son with No Father is a Book with No Author, you'll realize that I'm helping my son give him his table of contents for the book he's writing for himself.
Mm.
And when I do
Right.
know that a lot of people that don't have fathers or women whose sons aren't active with their father's lives, you know, may get somewhat offended. And I remind them that, a masterpiece is a masterpiece, whether you know who wrote it or not.
How
If
about
you
that?
found The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison and didn't, with the covers ripped off and you didn't realize who wrote it, still deserves the Pulitzer.
Yes.
However, it's that table of contents that's missing from a boy's life without his father, not knowing how to navigate his story.
Mm.
So I wrote the book, and of course, me being the type of person I am, it couldn't just be a book, it just had to be a resource. So I created a workbook to partner my book, and the
Awesome.
workbook gives parents, fathers, and sons. You can use it with your daughters, anybody really, but it gives you prompts to ask each other questions using the book as the sounding board. So that way you're not prying into your kids' lives and they don't get
Mhm.
as defensive. And it really helps bridge that gap in communication that we have amongst generations. And one of the things that I'm extremely proud of is that even the artwork, it was done by the Mr. Charlie Palmer himself. He
Wow.
esteemed artist. He's done Time Magazine. He's done People. He's done John Legend's album cover. He's guy's out of here. He's on a different plateau, and he adopted me as a little brother and really demonstrated another level of insight from hearing my poetry and put it into a painting. So
Hmm.
this painting actually lives on the wall in our house.
Nice. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And also,
And then,
I want to be clear too that the workbook, it doesn't end there. We created workshops called Kingdom Son, in which we bring fathers and sons together, and we also have a separate aspect called for fatherless sons, in which we pair them with mentors, and we speak to these children by, giving them a platform to be heard, and also watering the hard soil.
mm, that's beautiful, and that's so necessary. Now, where is that available at? Is it an ongoing workshop? You have
Yeah,
dates?
yeah. we we
Okay.
um we do it through my nonprofit, Manifest Destiny, and we do it globally. Like I look forward to bringing it to a city, a state near anybody. We just gotta talk about the logistics, but I'm also offering them online. I don't feel like it's as powerful online though, because
Yeah, yeah.
there's an exchange of energy in person that I think a lot of us have recognized, especially after COVID.
Yes. Breakthroughs happen in person
Very much so.
for sure. Oh man. Wow. And do you have when's the next one scheduled? Do you have that set
Um,
up yet?
Well, we have a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club out here in Atlanta. So we have a 6-week course for poetry to the people, and we'll probably launch the next one around June, July timeframe.
Okay, okay. And you are located in Atlanta, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Got you. Got you. So I remembered a technical challenge that I had before that there were comments coming in on Facebook because my StreamYard projects to Facebook as well.
Okay.
There are people on Facebook and they're commenting. So I just picked up my phone. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
and there's questions on Facebook. So that was one of them.
Oh, let me get a
Okay.
question. Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Yes, yes. So there's any other questions that you have? Um, feel free to ask now. I'm paying attention on Facebook. All right. And so tell me more about Manifest Destiny. I know you said that's a partnership between you and your wife.
Yes, yes. So a lot of people, first, let me give clarity to the name. A lot of people know that obviously through the Trail of Tears and American history. Similar to other words, I wanted to reclaim such a beautiful sentiment. And she doesn't like when I say this, but when I was a kid, I did graffiti, and my name was Manifest. But it was really Manifest because I dropped the ST because I'm from the Bronx, so it had to be an X.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like my destiny is to serve my community. So Manifest Destiny, haha. You know, drop everything got like a double entendre meaning, right?
Yeah, like that. I
But
saw that.
so yeah, obviously with our two disciplines, Chanel being the award-winning multimedia artist that she is, she does not only art programs for the children, she also hosts a lot of mommy and me workshops, so she could
Mm,
service the young ladies and their mothers and create like a very supportive and safe environment and community. It's not just one workshop and done. It's ongoing.
I'm going.
So,
That's
and then
good.
I host Poetry to the People. I teach the kids about spoken word poetry and specifically why it's important within the Black community based on, obviously America's history of trying to suppress us in various ways. So we talk about Sojourn Truth. We talk about the Harlem Renaissance. We talk about Gil Scott Heron. Then we bring it up. Then I teach them different methods of writing, and
Okay.
then we have them create an identity narrative. You know, the story you tell yourself about yourself and why it should be the best story you ever tell. So that way the kids can be affirmed in their writing and in their lives.
Beautiful, beautiful. And writing is so therapeutic. No matter if you ever share it, man, it's just very, very therapeutic.
Yeah.
And that
All
is
right.
the, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the whole basis of the Blowing Bubbles podcast. Blowing bubbles is just a coping mechanism, man. It's
Mm.
like I dare you to try to blow bubbles and be mad at the same time.
I
You
like
can't do
it.
it. You can't
I
do it.
like it. See, now you put that in perspective on me. That's dope.
You can't do it. And there's just so much anger and rage in the world, man. Just go blow some bubbles. Just
Go
chill,
blow
man.
some bubbles, baby. We gonna blow some bubbles after this.
Blow some bubbles.
Got mad bubbles in the house too.
Yeah, like seriously, it's inexpensive. You can get a bottle for every kid in the house. Every kid on the block if you have to. It's so simple. Like just chill.
I feel like I want to have a bubble party now.
Let's do it. I'm down. Well,
Uh,
however I can help, I'm there. I got
yeah.
bubble machines. Let's go.
So to your point earlier about poetry being therapeutic, um, I write a poem every birthday. It's called my period piece. And it's
Okay.
just meant to be like my flag in the sand to track my growth as a man. So, you know, at 42, if I'm talking about the same things I did at 32, maybe not as much growth as I thought there was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this year, I'm in the best space I've ever been in my life, like the best physical health, mental health. And I'm just happy. I
Great.
didn't know how to write a happy poem. I was
Ah.
so used to writing about the mud, the dirt, the struggle. I had to really learn how to be gentle with myself for once. And I was building with one of my brothers, and I said, poetry is a self portrait. And it came to me. So the poem goes, if poetry is a self portrait, then this is the very first time I've taken a selfie this healthy. I got my lighting just right. It's reflected by my wife. I did it for myself, but I needed her to help me. You see, this year, I've managed to abstain from alcohol and all of the devils that held me. You want to talk about leveling up? Tend to your mental health. You see, it's your self worth that makes you wealthy. If poetry is a self portrait, I dip my brushes in balance so my past doesn't tip the canvas. I dip my metaphors in magic to protect all of y'all from my madness. I dip my words in wit, my verbs in vision, and I'll let you decide if they merit any wisdom. If poetry is a self portrait, make sure you capture my good side. Because I developed all my negatives in the dark. Blurred the background so I could focus on me. Now you can see why every detail is sharp. So if you could feel my art, then you could feel my heart. And it's through that route right there, I let you feel my scars. If poetry is a self portrait, then Sotheby's doesn't hold enough prestige. I'm no longer interested in working with institutions that love the work of art, but not me. My
Mm.
parents are the Metropolitan Museum that muted their being, allowing me to pursue my technicolor dreams. And every child that falls under my wing is a feather that's freed, a quill that can reframe the letter of law so we could finally just be. Home completes the puzzle. I don't know why that's such a hard to find piece. If poetry is a self portrait, then these are brand new colors I've never painted with before. Brilliant acrylics for you to visualize my lyrics. A collection of happiness that I hope you inherit. My poetry is as honest as a mirror, a chieftain of scripture, a poet that can leave fingerprints on the hearts of his village. If poetry is a self portrait, then you all can consider this a mural of root. I brought closure to every issue that plagued me in my youth. Now I find it priceless at 42. I flaunt the font that allows me to sign every single portrait in truth. Dot. Thank you.
Yes. Woo! Nice, nice, nice. Man, the metaphors, oh man,
You
I
know,
love it.
and You know how proud I was that day to be able to find the same level of inspiration and flavor with a happy poem, to be proud
Yes.
of not drinking after being a veteran who obviously, that's how we numb the pain.
Yes.
Being able to understand that, yeah, I did it for myself, but I needed my wife right there to help me along and be that muse that inspired it all.
She
Like,
is your good thing.
hello, hello.
Man. Oh man. Oh man. We got some flames and some fire and some awesome and
Are
heart
you
for
are
the
you
Lord.
about to make?
Yeah, I wanted to say hi.
Hi,
I
Janelle.
wasn't trying to get glammed up. I was working, but
Girl, stop it. You
this has
are
been a great
glamorous
talk.
season. Hi.
Hey,
I'm
y'all.
so lucky.
Oh my
Mwah.
gosh. I love it. I love it. I have been watching because one of the things that I noticed years ago is that you were outwardly expressing your love. I've never seen you anything other than,
Yeah,
and I admire that so much. And it made me look like, who is this queen? It got to be, it's just something that I pay attention to.
yeah.
I
And
just love love.
to that point, I think it's very important to love out loud for the right muse. Like,
That
I'm a
part.
dude that I've been writing since I was 15,
Okay.
and I never wrote love poems. That wasn't me. But when she and I met, oh, they just started falling out, falling out, falling out. And I honestly just felt like, you know, when you make that decision as a man that this is what you want, the same way if I was on the block holding the block down, you got to stand outside and be loud, letting it be known. This is my I don't have a block no more. I got a home. My
Amen.
home as a queen, so I'm gonna be very loud in that. And it
That's
doesn't it doesn't her prowess doesn't suffocate my light at all. We just amplify each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys are definitely complimentary and personally and professionally. And I don't even, know all the personal, but it just from my lens, it's very complimentary.
Thank you.
And but let me not gloss over the 42. That was so powerful. Too many people are harsh on themselves. You said you had to be gentle with yourself.
Hmm. Very much so.
Was there a period of time where you could recognize that you were just always harsh on yourself and didn't give yourself credit for your growth, your efforts, or anything?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't like, again, um, I don't want to. It's not to be corny and keep praising her. However, it was through her that I got introduced to therapy.
Mm, that's big.
Therapy, oh, it was super big. Therapy allowed a level of self-reflection that I could see past the initial mirror, past the initial reflection, and into, like, if you put two mirrors together, it reflects forever.
Hmm.
So when I got past the initial reflection and got to like reflection 9,000, I started understanding myself a lot better and how I wrestled with depression. This is my going to be my second marriage, so I had to wrestle with being a single father. I had I used to be I'm an only child now, but I used to have a set. So my sister, my best friend for 26 years of my life passed away. These are, and that spiraled into a depression, which had me abusing substances, crying out loud, not out loud in verbally, like vocally, but crying by just masking the pain and numbing it for a while.
Hmm.
And I only knew how to smile at the thought of my children because of that. And I would continue to tell myself the lie that everything was okay. And one of my aces told me a lie means there's a lesson in everything. So it's on you to extract that and recognize, okay, what's the lesson now? Add on and live in a constant state of refinement. Because as a man, you should never just rely on, that's just me, that's who I am. It should always be understand why you are that way.
Yes, sir.
And is that healthy? Is that getting you to the goals that you want out of life? And it was that moment in which I was faced with my decision making was not bringing in the consequence of my decision making, didn't bring in the blessings that I wanted. I knew I had to start making adjustments.
Man, that introspective look is something that most people run from. Most of us can't handle what's on the inside
It was
of
hard.
us.
It was hard.
Yeah, that's where the boogeyman lives. That beast within, most of us run from that. That's commendable.
This year, I was just having a conversation earlier today, is the first year that I was able to capture my words before they escaped my mouth
Ooh.
and identify where I was responding from. And at first, it seemed like a daunting task to constantly be policing your mouth and who you are, because I had a very sharp tongue. Like I'm known to be that kind of like critical asshole, and you know, as you get older, it doesn't serve you the way being that way in my current environment doesn't serve me the way it did when I was in the Bronx
Yeah.
and I was skinny and I was getting picked on. Being able to be sharp witted was like a defense mechanism to make people not want to mess with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, doesn't do anything for a loving household. It doesn't do anything for facilitating esteem in your children.
Ooh.
So I wrote a poem called "Look Who's Talking." I'll share some of that. I said, "No shadow looms larger than karma. No muse could prove a hard asshole to crack than your partner. Sometimes abuse is code for hold me longer, hold me stronger, hold me in my coma. Hold up, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. You know I don't know how to act when I get cornered. And in the morning, you hold me accountable for not knowing how to communicate like a grown up. Don't mind me. That's just my toxic relationship talking. You see, as a boy, I learned that all churches aren't holy. True hurt is lonely. It's cold. The best time to pray is when the pain gets cozy. Poetry ain't to hold me. I offer you transparency so you can see how dope how much dope how much dough you'll need during your withdrawal. Don't take it personal, y'all. That's just my disassociation talking. We are living in the multiverse of madness, a doctored planet where my world could flip at the snap of a stranger's magic, judging myself based on someone else's standards. Hey, yo, the fact that I'm judging myself and not considering a 10 on the scorecard, mental imprisonment only creates more bars. Why self-worth always be so close but feel so far? It's like I want to go hard, but I can't get past my own guards. It's like they already got me in pocket. I'm ready to call the cops because the man in the mirror has to be an imposter. Him lawyer, him doctor, him proper, skin darker. Who let him in? Well, him play his part right and they might give him Oscar. Him play his part wrong and they'll just keep him locked up. This can't be us. This can't be me. Now this got to be my imposter syndrome talking. So I smile for the ring light. It's like every time the doorbell rings, I hear it ring white. There's something about surveillance in that ring recording me that just doesn't feel right. And no matter where I move, I live in this state of fight or flight, and it has my anxiety wrapped so tight the string connected to my kite won't give it enough slack to let it fly. Now, if you cut your eyes at me one more time, I will cut this tension with a knife, a glass, a gun. I want you to give me the excuse to use the razor in my mouth. I heard I had a sharp tongue. Now, maybe that's hyperbole. Or maybe internally, I'm wrestling with demons and nervous energy that won't let me find the words to express myself verbally. Now, you call me crazy, but I'll call my therapist when my post traumatic stress starts talking. Yeah, I don't know. I spend more time in my phone than in my own home. The only time I find myself in a zone is when I'm in a node, further emboldened to impose my opinion whenever, wherever, however I post. You're going to get this opinion. But I want to thank you. Because finally, when you're heard with ears that speak your language, allows you to be heard without parameters. Removing miscommunication in the future as being a factor. Oh, who that talking? Oh, oh, that's called my growth. You see, sometimes when I talk, it glows. And once open, my throat chakra allows me to speak directly from my soul. And tonight, Karana, it's in the form of this poem. Now I know that strength doesn't come from how much weight you can hold. It comes from how much self-hate you can finally let go.
Woo! Woo! Wow.
Like when I was writing that, I like you talk about that mirror, that introspectiveness. I had to think about why I would ever say I don't know who the F you talking to somebody that loves me, somebody that
Mm,
wants the best for me. There's a trigger that goes off in which now I'm looking at you as a combatant and not a lover.
mm,
And I had to identify why am I angry? Because the anger isn't your primary emotion. It's a secondary emotion.
mm,
Something happened that made you feel some sort of way that now you're angry. So maybe it's betrayal, maybe it's embarrassment. How do you effectively address that primary emotion as opposed to only reacting to what we know as men, which is anger?
mm.
You know, as Afro Boricua black man, why do I always feel as if I'm undeserving of the success and and forward mobility I've been provided or I've earned? Because nobody at that next, when I get to that next rung on the ladder, they don't look like me no more.
Right.
So now I'm wrestling with imposter syndrome.
Mm.
You understand? Like all of
Yeah.
these things, my disassociation, how you could cut somebody off at the drop of a dime the minute they offend you. Now, are they offensive or did they just hit a trigger?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in that poem, when I perform it specifically, I have to assume the identity of all of these varying dimensions of who I was and am. And the first time you get to see who I currently am at this point is when we start being grateful for being able to acknowledge that I could speak in this safe place. Because wherever I share it, it now becomes a safe place. Because I'm going to protect it that way.
Word. That's powerful. Wow. There, so much of that spoke to me.
Mm.
So much of that really spoke to me. Being that person who I found myself constantly defending me to people, is like it got exhausting. You know,
Mm.
that sharp tongue, boy.
Facts.
You know, and I'm not trying to make it a long fight. It's gonna be over quick because
That part. Like why'd you bring a rocket launcher to a fist fight? Because I don't want to fight no more. Leave me
I
alone.
don't. I was quiet over here. And so just having to having to finally take that look inside and peel back those layers of that onion. Some layers made the tears fall, but that is true growth. Man,
Those tears water that hard soil I was talking about earlier.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. That's so dope. Oh man. So also I wanted to shift gears a little bit. You have a big event coming up, an art and jazz gala.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Wow, I don't want to brag or nothing. No, I'm joking. This is actually our first like large event as a nonprofit. We're super excited. It's
Uh,
April 30th at the Gathering Spot in Atlanta. Um, if you're unfamiliar with the Gathering Spot, it is a black owned mastermind country club, tech hub, creative hub, whatever you could think of to push black culture forward, it comes
it's
through
that.
there.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
like a
saying? Like,
business incubator on steroids.
don't like if you think it's monolithic and one dimensional, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like we've
Go.
had everybody like from T.I. to Drake to Joe Biden come by to speak. And I say that to say that our esteemed mayor, Andre Dickens, will be at our gala speaking on the benefits the creative arts have on mental health. The proceeds would benefit cancer survivors as well as the art programs that we provide the youth of Atlanta. And we'll have singers there. There'll be an amazing art auction curated by the missus. I will be hosting and performing poetry. Obviously, I write poetry about mental health, so it makes sense. And we have a couple other surprises. You know, some fly keynotes. So you could
Okay.
go to artjazzgala.com or follow me on any social media platform. I am Mario A. Reyes on IG or Manifest Destiny INC on Facebook or Poppy Picasso Poetry still because I never updated that in Facebook. And get your tickets. It's going to be so lit. I'm telling you. I'm excited.
Nice. And you still have vendor spots available?
We have sponsorship spots. I don't think we're doing
Sponsorships. Okay.
vendors at this
Gotcha.
event only because we we don't want to distract people with the exchange of commerce. This I want them to be fully immersed in the services we're providing as a host and entertainment.
Absolutely. I said the wrong word, you guys. Sponsorships, not vendors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh man, that is so dope. I'm gonna have to get my tickets April 30th. I wrote it down so I can.
April 30th. Oh man, when I tell you, and I know several people that have purchased tickets. So if you want to network with some, what my man said, high value individuals, they'll be in the building. There'll be many high value individuals in the building.
Got you, got you, got you. Well, I mean, just you and Team Reyes is in the building.
Hey,
That's high value enough for me. Uh, I am definitely gonna be in the place, and I wanted to also talk to you about your work as a fatherhood advocate.
yes, ma'am.
So tell me about that. How did you get okay, I'm getting beat up. They saying put the information in the chat. Artjazzgala.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes,
Um,
ma'am. It's in the chat.
well,
Artjazzgala.com.
the
So
advocacy um started when my aunt asked me if I planned to get my children on the weekends when I got divorced.
mm,
She didn't understand that I was a man that is capable of providing for my children. And I made sure that I had joint physical and custodial custody. So I would say the advocacy started there and it evolved through the book A Son with No Father is a Book with No Author. And now we just have created communities of powerful black men, brown men, white men. It don't matter. Like, yo, you don't have to be a father to be a man, but you have to be a man to be a dad. And there's no sense in doing anything if you're gonna do it halfway. So all we do is encourage, inspire, and assist brothers in being their full authentic selves as a father. Because every man ain't nothing but a 14-year-old boy at heart. So being a father is fun because you get to be a kid again. You know what I'm saying? If you
yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I have one segment that I do regularly, and it's called the co-parent conversation because it's important for me to bridge that gap for people who are struggling to just co-parent.
Yeah.
You're you're mad, you're mad, and now we're just at each other and we're ignoring the fact that in the middle are these children.
One of
Um,
my period pieces, it was called Lesson in Everything Lie. I said, I sit right here and tell myself this lie, like I became such a better father after my divorce.
mm,
I learned how to nurture a baby girl that I could no longer ignore. Um, and I realized that love doesn't have to live in the same crib when you're able to use those beautiful children as the bridge. So essentially, like, all right, the divorce, the relationship didn't work out, and that's fine. However, it's still team parents. We should definitely be on the same accord. We should still map out everything else for them. And in that, there's a level of respect that survives,
yes,
you know. And at this juncture, I'm 13 years co-parenting and 2 years in a blended family. And, even with my quote unquote stepdaughters, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody understands that it's for the benefit of this next generation. So I'm very fortunate that I don't have any contention in regards to that,
beautiful.
you know. And we know what helps, and I'm gonna say this for anybody who might be uh, uh what's gonna call it, a single parent or co-parent. Mediation and having a parenting plan that establishes everything off break helps. It lets you know what the schedules are. It lets you know what the you know, with health, finances, um, at any dimension of parenthood that's going to come up should be addressed in that. So that way now you know what you're accountable for and to. So that way you don't have to ask the questions or feel betrayed or have vague understandings of what is actually going on.
Right, got you. So is this something that you have a formalized program? Uh,
No, no, no. I just went through that personally.
okay,
I try to stay away from advocating too much on that. You know, matters of the heart are fickle,
ooh,
and it's not a one size fits all kind of scenario. But I know the love of a father for his children is the same no matter who you are.
for sure, for sure. Well, I am blown away. I'm trying to think. I had some notes. I think I covered everything. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Anything else that you have coming up that people can support?
Um, just excited to have Manifest Destiny. We just partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Atlanta to bring a workshop to the children this summer. That's going to be awesome. Of course, the first thing that we have is this gala. I want you guys to get tickets. I want you guys to come out. I am putting on a show. I promise you, there is no way you will leave there not feeling happy and feeling like you got more than your money's worth. Guaranteed.
Hey,
Um, Aside from that, I just want to give a shout out to my niece, Sierra. She's graduating in the next couple weeks, high school, and she just committed to Morgan State University. Congratulations, way to go to
come on,
HBCU.
Sierra and the
Um,
HBCU. Yes.
my daughter Raina for getting accepted into one of the most prestigious private schools. My other daughter Maya for graduating 8th grade. Like everybody's kicking butt in the house, and it's just dope. Um,
Awesome.
and I want to give a shout out to Chanel for receiving the Emerging Artist Award from the mayor's office in
I
Atlanta.
saw that.
Yo, like, come on, yo, baby, yo, don't take your foot off their neck, yo. Put
Yes.
the put the tall stilettos on and twist that.
Yes, she's doing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't wait to really dig in. Put the plug in for me. I need the interview sis. She's doing beautiful things with the
Yeah.
flowers, man. The flowers. I
Yeah,
love
she does
flowers.
installations. You definitely got to go check out Evelyn Rose on Instagram and just look up Evelyn Rose online and see her floral installations, as well as ChanelAngelie.com, where you can see her amazing art. There's something accessible for every price range, but be mindful, art does appreciate. So get in early because yesterday's price ain't today's.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And I
love
just want to say thank you, Karana. I appreciate you having me. I know we reached out. We tried to do it earlier. We had some life issues get in the way,
it.
but I always appreciate a platform to be heard and insightful questions and community. So thank you, sis.
Yes. And hold your book up again. You're welcome. You're welcome. And this book is so important. A son with no father, a book with no author. Man, we got we got to get this book. There's a workbook. This is helping to bridge that gap between fathers and sons that is so important. This world is going to hell in a handbasket. These little boys don't have a clue.
I tell everybody just like this: be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Don't
Ooh,
complain about your environment. Be the agent of change in your environment.
yes, yes.
And subscribe to us because I'm not scared to go to your environment and help you change it.
Mm. All right. Tell them one more time how they can find you, follow you, support you.
You could go to I am Mario A. Reyes on Instagram. You can follow me at poppypicassopoetry.com. My wife's gonna kick my butt because she told me to change that already. Or you could go to manifestdestinynpo.com. If you want to get tickets to the gala, follow us on Manifest Destiny INC on Instagram. And just keep being dope, y'all, and just lock in, please.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And my sign off is always to remind everybody to stay popping.
All right, y'all. Peace.